Our neighborhood was known for its tight-knit community and annual events, barbecues, cleanup drives, and the ever-popular summer fair. Everyone trusted each other. And at the center of it all was Karen, our HOA treasurer. She was bossy, loud, and always in everyone's business. But she kept the books clean, or so we thought. It started with whispers. People noticed the new security lights weren't installed, even though the HOA had approved the funds months ago. The community garden project was delayed, and the maintenance company stopped mowing the park because they hadn't been paid in weeks. When we asked Karen, she brushed it off with her usual sharp tone. Delays happen, people. Not everything runs on your schedule. Still, something felt off. I mentioned it to my son Ethan, who was home from college for the summer. He had always been good with numbers. And when I told him about the inconsistencies, he offered to take a look at the HOA's public expense reports, which were supposed to be posted online every quarter. But the most recent report had vanished. "Mom," Ethan said one night, sitting at the kitchen table with his laptop open, "either someone deleted the file, or they don't want anyone to see it." The next HOA meeting was tense. Karen stood at the front, adjusting her pearls and pretending everything was fine. "Our finances are perfectly stable," she declared, her tone dripping with false confidence. "There's no need to panic over rumors." But Ethan wasn't convinced. He stayed late after the meeting, pretending to help clean up. That's when he noticed Karen's laptop sitting open on the table, the screen glowing with an Excel sheet labeled Community Fund Personal Copy. When she stepped away to take a phone call, Ethan snapped a few photos of the screen. What he saw made his stomach drop. There were transactions marked for maintenance, expenses that went directly to an unfamiliar bank account, and the account holder's name? Karen M. Daniels. The next morning, Ethan showed me the photos. I could barely believe my eyes. Thousands of dollars, gone. "Mom," he said quietly, "she's stealing from everyone." I didn't know what scared me more, the theft itself, or what Karen would do if she found out Ethan had proof. I barely slept that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Karen's smug face at those meetings, lecturing everyone about responsibility and honesty while secretly lining her pockets with our money. Ethan wanted to take the photos straight to the HOA president, but I stopped him. "If we go to them without solid proof," I warned, "Karen will twist the story and make you look like a hacker." And honestly, that was exactly what she'd do. Karen was ruthless when it came to protecting her reputation, so Ethan dug deeper. He traced the account details using public routing information, connecting them to a luxury home renovation company, the same one Karen had bragged about hiring for her personal kitchen. Upgrade. Everything clicked. The HOA. Money wasn't missing. It was sitting inside Karen's brand new marble countertops. A few days later, during another HOA meeting, I couldn't hold back. "Karen," I said, standing up, "we deserve to see the expense breakdown for this quarter. Where's the transparency you keep preaching about?" Karen froze. Then, with her trademark fake smile, she replied, "All the reports are in the system, dear. Maybe you just don't know how to look for them." That was it. Ethan stood up next to me. "You mean the reports you deleted, right?" he said firmly. The entire room went silent. Karen's expression shifted instantly, from irritation to pure panic. "I don't know what you're talking about," she stammered. But Ethan had already connected his laptop to the projector. The photos appeared on the big screen. Karen's personal spreadsheet, the transaction list, the bank account details, everything. People gasped. One of the HOA board members nearly dropped his coffee. "Karen, is that your name on those transfers?" another neighbor asked. Karen's face turned red. "This is a setup!" she shouted. "That boy hacked my computer. You can't use stolen information." But no one was buying it. The evidence was clear and her voice was trembling. Before she could grab her laptop and run, Ethan calmly said, "These records are backed up online and I've already sent copies to the HOA president and a few neighbors, just in case." Karen froze completely. Her fake confidence shattered. The meeting ended in chaos, people shouting, others demanding a full audit. Karen stormed out, her heels clicking furiously against the floor. But I knew this wasn't over. A woman like Karen didn't go down quietly. The morning after the meeting felt strangely calm. Too calm. I thought maybe Karen had finally accepted defeat. But I underestimated her. By noon, my phone started buzzing nonstop. Texts from neighbors, emails from the HOA mailing list, and even an anonymous message claiming Ethan illegally accessed private files. It didn't take long to realize who was behind it. Karen had launched a smear campaign, and my son was her target. She was accusing him of hacking into HOA property, threatening legal action, and spreading rumors that our family had personal grudges against her. "She's trying to scare us," Ethan said, scrolling through the hate-filled comments. "She wants us to back down before the audit happens." But Ethan wasn't one to back down. He decided to strengthen his case. He contacted the HOA president directly, a quiet but fair man named Mr. Jacobs, and sent him everything. The timestamps, the transaction patterns, even the matching receipts from Karen's renovation company. Mr. Jacobs was shocked. "This is serious," he said over the phone. "If this is true, it's not just a violation of HOA policy, and it's embezzlement." Later that evening, we saw Karen pacing in her front yard, talking loudly on her phone. She looked furious, pointing toward our house, whispering harshly, then slamming her gate shut. "She's planning something," I muttered. And I was right. The next morning, 2 police officers knocked on our door. Karen had filed a cyber intrusion report, claiming Ethan accessed confidential financial data illegally. My heart sank. The officers were polite but serious. Ethan explained everything, how the files were publicly accessible, how he only photographed what was open on her screen, and how she had been using HOA funds for personal expenses. The officers nodded, saying they'd review both sides. But I could see Karen standing at the end of the street, arms crossed, a smug smirk on her face. She thought she had us cornered. That evening, Karen posted on the neighborhood forum, "Let this be a lesson. Some people will stop at nothing to destroy good volunteers. Shameful behavior!" The comment section exploded. Some people believed her, others defended us. The neighborhood was split. But Ethan wasn't done yet. "If she wants to play dirty," he said, opening his laptop, "we'll let the truth do the talking." He had found something Karen didn't expect. The final piece of evidence that would end her lies once and for all. Ethan spent the next 2 nights quietly working from his room. His desk covered with printed statements, screenshots, and notes. He was determined to end this once and for all. Then one evening, he came downstairs holding a folder. "Mom," he said, "I've got it. This will bury her." Inside were detailed transaction trails showing Karen had transferred funds from the HOA account to her personal one, and then used the same account to pay for home, renovation invoices, and even a luxury cruise booking. Everything was time-stamped, verified, and matched perfectly with the HOA's missing funds. The timing couldn't have been better. The HOA had called for an emergency board meeting to discuss the growing scandal. Karen walked in late, wearing sunglasses and fake confidence, acting as though nothing had happened. But this time, she didn't control the room. Everyone's eyes followed her with suspicion. Mr. Jacobs began the meeting. "We've reviewed the records, and we've received additional evidence that needs to be seen by all members." Ethan stood up. "This is what's been happening with our money." He connected his laptop to the projector once again. The screen lit up with bank statements, transaction logs, and screenshots from Karen's own online banking activity, all gathered legally through public HOA records and verified payment processors. Karen's smirk faded as gasps filled the room. "That's fake!" she shouted, her voice cracking. "This is all fabricated." But Mr. Jacobs shook his head. "We contacted the bank, Karen. These are real. The transfers came from your credentials." For a moment, the room was silent. Then whispers started spreading. "She stole from us." All this time, she was lying. Karen's face went pale. "You can't do this to me," she screamed, slamming her hands on the table. "I built this community." "No," I said calmly, standing beside Ethan. "This community built you. You just took advantage of it." The board voted unanimously to remove Karen from her position immediately and to refer the case to law enforcement. When the officers arrived later that week, she was escorted from her home, shouting, crying, and still denying everything. As for Ethan, he was hailed as a hero. The neighborhood fund was restored. The community started healing, and trust slowly returned. A few days later, I asked him how he felt now that it was all over. He smiled faintly. "Honestly, Mom, I didn't want revenge. I just wanted people to know the truth. And for the first time in months, the neighborhood finally felt peaceful again. The woman who tried to silence everyone had been silenced by her own greed.